So I'm on the way to meet a new landlord client. I'm actually quite excited about this one because they are a Greek street food vendor, and the situation is that they have a property that they would like to rent out. Now the situation is that they actually currently live in the property, and as a lettings agent, it's always a bit more problematic when you have somebody that currently lives in the property that wants to rent it out. So, hi guys, if you don't know me already, my name's Nguyen. We let high quality HMOs and single lets, so that's family houses, in and around Birmingham. So I'm just about to go to meet our new landlord client, and so they currently live in the property. So I think what the situation is that they're most likely moving in with their partner, or they've purchased another property, and rather than selling this one, the one they're currently in, they're actually opting to let it out. Now, you get a lot of people in this situation. It actually normally, if that property is it's not too expensive and the yield is good, it actually makes sense to go this route. So actually to keep it and rent it out rather than to sell it. No, that's a separate matter. So they currently live in the property, and they'd like us to rent it out, or let it, find a good tenant, and then go on to manage it. Now, from a lettings agent perspective, a situation like this is actually it is actually much higher risk for the lettings agent and for the prospective tenant. And as an investor or as a landlord, it's good to be aware of this and to understand why. And the reason being that, firstly, when you take viewings of a property that is currently, where there's people currently living there, the conversion rates are much lower, simply because there's people living there, the property is much more cluttered, and it's going to be difficult for the prospective tenants when they're taking viewings to see beyond the clutter. Obviously, with our properties or the properties we manage, we would expect the landlord or the investor to then refurb the property, or at least to bring it back to a good standard, to bring it back to showroom condition, because that is what our tenants come to us for. And if we can say, well, this could be showroom condition, there's a lot less risk of people misinterpreting what works are going to be done. But then the risk there is that, what if the landlord or the investor doesn't do the works, or doesn't do it to the standard that is required or that is expected? So that's one risk. The other one is also, so that's two risks so far. That's two risks so far. So it's the clutter and the low conversion rate. The second one is what works will be done when the new tenant moves in, so meeting expectations. And another one would be, plans change. The landlord, for example, might change their plans and might decide, actually, we're going to stay instead, or we're going to sell it instead. It does happen, which means that, the agent or the agency has completely wasted their time and energy, and the prospective tenant's time as well. And if they've paid the holding fee and they're going for referencing, it really, really messes up their plans, because they've given notice, they've stopped their search, they've planned their move-in. You really, if you say you're going to move into a place, to a tenant or a prospective tenant, you really don't want to change those plans, because they are quite impactful to the tenant. So there's a potential risk there. The landlord can just say, actually, I've changed my mind for whatever reason. There's plenty of reasons. But that said, as the lettings agent, if you feel the landlord client or the investor is fairly organised, it's not all over the place, it's not erratic. If you think they are going to do what they say they're going to do. And this is really important in properties, like any business. You know, if you feel the other person is going to do what they say they're going to do, then actually you should be okay. And really, that's what it boils down to. It boils down to your judgment as the lettings agent to decide, to work out if the other person, the landlord in this situation, is going to do what they say they're going to do, because so much hinges on that. But anyway, so yeah, you know, a long way of saying it. Generally speaking, taking on properties that are still tenanted, especially when the landlord is still living there, to market it, take viewings, to find a tenant, is risky. It's high risk. Generally not worth it, but obviously, you know, there's a demand there for that type of service, so it has to be done. And the risk being that, you know, the conversion rates are very low, because the property is always cluttered when people are living there. The standards the property is done to or restored to, for when the new tenant moves in, must meet their expectations. So it's about expectation management. And thirdly, and these are the three main ones. Thirdly, if you know, the landlord could just change their mind, which, you know, completely messes up everybody else's plans as well, and, you know, wastes a lot of everybody's time. So hopefully that's been helpful. You know, if you're a landlord yourself and you've always wondered, you know, I just want to let my property out, what are the issues, those are the potential issues. And if you are if you're a tenant looking for a place, this is the situation you find yourself in, these are the things that, you know, the agent or the landlord has to consider, and therefore you should also consider it too. But obviously, once you pay a holding fee, you know, pay it with the intention of moving in. Okay, so hopefully that's been helpful. If you like this sort of stuff, don't forget to like and follow for more. All right, see you.